Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope everybody is doing great. Well, no opening thing other than subscribe, like, share, all that fun stuff, but I'm gonna get right into this one because this is one where I really feel like it will help somebody, it will benefit somebody. And sometimes I have these God moments where I'm like, I wish I could have turned on YouTube and saw this video and it helped me through this. And I have those moments, trust me, but like with this one, I could have used me telling me this, when I was kind of going through what I'm about to share with you. But, if God entrusts me with it, he obviously has given me grace to deal with it. And then my job is to share it with somebody else to help them through it. So all that being said, by a show of hands, how many of you, obviously I can't see you, so safe space to do so, how many of you would say you are the type of person that does not like to ask for help? I would argue it's kind of like recently I did a presentation for my business on authentic leadership. And within that presentation, I talked about the fact that I talked a lot about self-awareness. And so in researching that and unpacking and looking at statistics, I learned that 95% of people will say that they are self-aware, when in actuality, it's only like 10 to 15% of people, after research and has been done, that it's only 10 to 15% of people who are actually self-aware. So I would argue that most people are going to answer that question and say, yeah, I don't like asking for help. I'm that person. Yeah, you ever meet a person and, it's always like, I hate to ask, but they say that so often. So obviously they don't mind asking for help. I'm probably on the extreme when it comes to asking for help. I'm trying to be aware of it. I'm trying to be better at it. There's times in my life where I've been a smidge better at it, but it's so bad that the close friends that I have know that if I'm asking for help, they're like, oh my God, you really do need help because you never ask for help. So I don't wear that as a badge of honor. I really do want to step into that space more where I am more comfortable asking for help within reason, right? And so I recently had situation, I always say there's personal to personal. I'm gonna stay in this personal and not go too personal with sharing on my business, but recently I had a situation where I did need some help. Nothing crazy, nothing, traumatic or anything like that, but where I did need some help. And I had a hard time asking, to be quite honest, but I was looking at all the scenarios and I'm like, well, if I do this, and they just weren't looking good. So I did. And somebody I love and care about very much was able to help me, and it was very much appreciated. And I was more worried about it than that person was. I mean, they were just like, okay, so, moving on, and so it's more something for me to work on. And so that was one scenario. And then there was another, and it's kind of crazy how it all played out together, in a, like, kind of in the same area, but I needed to ask somebody else for help. And essentially I got to know, okay? Essentially I got to know. Different type of person, different circumstance, but nonetheless, they said no. And that's okay. I pray for them and I pray, God's blessings upon them and, all that fun stuff. But nonetheless, similar situations, but two different types of people, two different outcomes. And there was a lot for me that felt myself learning and growing. So why am I sharing all this? So I was talking to my daughter about it, my wise 17-year-old daughter. And as I was talking to her about it, she was telling me of an example that just happened to her at work. And I was like, I'm still in this. I'm going to share it. I'm going to use it on my YouTube. And so she's a swim instructor at a school where little kids go take swim lessons. And she was telling me how there was this little boy, and the drills that they were working on is like, I guess, I'm probably messing it up, but the gist of it is like, they're teaching them to kind of like wave, like if they're out in the middle of nowhere and they, not that a kid should be out in the middle of nowhere, but the point being, like, if they're in the pool, they need to be able to like, hey, I need help. I'm waving for help. And she was telling me, we were telling him like, you got to wave your hands. You got to do this. And he was like, I don't like asking for help. That's a whole nother YouTube on why this little boy felt like he couldn't ask for help. That's the sociologist in me is like, what's going on there? But the moral of this story is she was telling me, Mom, she's like, we were saying to him, this is the time that you need to ask for help when you're sinking, when you're in the middle of the pool. And talk about a light bulb moment for me, my goodness, and so all of that said, let me wrap this up and put a bow on it. if you are somebody like myself, who truly, truly, truly does have a hard time asking for help, whatever that space is, whether it's at work, whether it's with academics, whether it's with relationships, whether it's financially, whether it's mentally, that's a big one, guys. Whatever space that is in, I am here to tell you, it's okay. It's okay to ask for help. We all need it time and time again. My whole thing with relationships, and I'm really, really big about the dynamics of the relationships, just in general, people, but especially for me, I'm very much about reciprocal relationships. I don't do one-sided relationships. And so, if it's, all of, one person expecting all of these things and not giving anything in return, those relationships just don't work for me. But for me, when my relationships that are, the strongest, when there's a reciprocal relationship, I know I have to step into that space where I'm like, Favor, Professor Campbell mom, I would do anything for the people that I love and care about within reason, that's what friendships, relationships, that's what that's about. Right. And so, there are going to be times in life and in moments where we do need help. Call it pride, call it, whatever. And it was a moment for me where I really had to check myself and make sure that I wasn't being prideful, that I wasn't being in the space of like, and it wasn't so much that I don't need anybody. It's just like, it's not their responsibility. I should be able to do this. I should be able to handle this. And, life throws things at us at times where, you need help. And so if you're finding that you are in that space, be mindful not to use people. Be mindful and ask yourself, if the relationships, are they reciprocal? But know that there's people that love you and care about you that will step into that space of helping you, and receive it. It's okay to receive it, because at the end of the day, we all need people. That's how we're built. That's how we're created. Naturally, we just do. And so I hope that helps somebody today. I just, I needed obviously to go through that. And maybe the lesson for me to go through that was to share it with somebody else. So it's okay. You need help. It's okay. I promise you that. Okay. All right. I hope that helps somebody. If not, if it wasn't for you, share it with somebody else, because I'm pretty sure there's somebody else out there that can benefit from that. So as always, have a wonderful week or weekend, and I will see y'all on the next video.